Hello, I'm Madigan Pritchard, and this is my speech. Communication affects everyone, whether you present to the masses daily or you're someone who occasionally gives small speeches. Effective communication is an extremely vital skill for all. Communication has played a huge role in society from the dawn of time, from the Neanderthals making sounds and hand gestures to present-day people with verbal oral communication. You can see communication being used in some way, shape, or form. With it being used so often, you would assume it's acceptable that we are pretty good at it. Turns out, according to Preplay.com, Americans are getting worse at effectively communicating. Do you find yourself misunderstanding people, ending in useless arguments? You tired of people being confused after you gave what were simple directions? You might want to pay attention to what I have to say. Effective communication can lead to better success in relationships, making your work life and relationships overall a lot easier when your ideas, thoughts, and feelings are being understood the way you want them to be. In order to properly get your message across, you need to first know how to get people to listen to you. To further understand that, you need to know that there are a few different types of listeners. According to Dale Carnegie in the Art of Effective Communication, there are 7 different types of listeners. Today, I will be sharing 4 of them with you. The preoccupied listener. They are too busy looking at other things like their phone, the clock, tapping their foot, or someone walking in late to class to fully give 110% of their attention to you, the speaker. When working with them, you should use a phrase like, "Is this a good time to speak to you?" Or, "I need your undivided attention for a minute." This gets their attention, and you need to be short and sweet with them, or they're going to be preoccupied again. The interrupters. They're always trying to find a chance or an opportunity to jump in and give their thoughts and opinions, never letting you finish what you're about to say. And a big issue with them is that they're not listening to what you have to say, more so listening to give their opinions or interrupt you. When working with them, the best thing to do is you should stop, let them give their opinion, and move on with your speech. The combatives. They tend to be very hostile and rude. They don't listen to understand you, they're listening to get information to use against you. When talking to them, the best thing to do is find positive in their statement. The engagers. They're always consciously aware of what's being said to them, listening with their eyes, ears, and hearts, trying to get the most out of every conversation and putting themselves in the speaker's shoes. The engagers are doing everything an audience member should be doing, so ensure to acknowledge them. We talked about the 4 different types of listeners, but it's also important to give people a reason to want to listen to you. That starts with your believability. Believability is your ability to have credibility, making your audience want to listen to you. You have to give them a reason to listen to you. You sell yourself through your communication. Your success depends on your ability to communicate. Whether it be through teachers, classmates, or coworkers, your success rides on how well you can sell your credibility and how well you can maintain that credibility. According to Communication Skills for Leaders, there are 3 main elements to communication: your verbal message, your vocal message, and your visual. The message you are trying to convey is your verbal. It's what your listeners hear. Your vocal is your voice, your intonation, and how the listeners hear it. Your intonation is very important because if you have the wrong type of intonation, your listeners might take it the wrong way. And your visual. It's what your listeners see, such as your face and body. After reaching all of your audience members, whether it be through the way they listen to you, the way you presented, you need a strong ending. And you can't just lead everyone through your speech and build up and then have a really weak ending. You need a powerful conclusion, keeping and maintaining your audience's attention and keeping them engaged even through the end of the speech. You might feel that you need to wind down or slow down during your end, but it is the exact opposite. You need to carry through the ending. Very powerful, just like you started your speech. When trying to keep people's attention, you need to not only keep your energy, but also avoid using phrases such as "so in conclusion." It's not necessary to announce you are done with your speech. When wanting to conclude your speech, using phrases such as a summary of what we went over today so that people who weren't listening perk up and start listening. Dorothy Leeds in Power Speak says the best way to regain the listener's attention is to lend greater credibility to your message in your conclusion, such as the most essential points or the ones that will benefit you the most are really good phrases to use. Keep in mind that when your audience thinks something is the most important, they will listen to that. So really drive in certain points to keep their attention throughout the ending. Now you know how important it is to have a captivating opener, what type of listeners to look out for, and how to power through your ending without losing your audience's attention. With these newfound skills, you can now communicate with your audiences more effectively, maintain their attention in a variety of ways, as well as getting through thoughts and important information with with a broader audiences. Keeping this in mind, you can now learn how to effectively communicate in your relationships with your coworkers or to your classmates. Like John Powell said, communication works for those who work at it. Keep working at your communication if you want it to keep working.